Hello everybody, my name is Alex with Segala Designs. Thanks for tuning back for a brand new video. If you guys are new around here, please make sure to go down and subscribe. Us at Segala Designs have a huge announcement to make to all our customers and supporters who love to stay updated on new info we have for all of you. As you guys can already tell by the title and thumbnail, yes, we have finally started production on our first few products for the new Z06 Corvette. We know a ton of you have been wanting to hear what Segala has planned for this new car. So in this video, we're gonna be introducing these first few parts for the car along with getting them installed. Now here we have the first piece that will be getting installed on the Z06, which is the OEM style front splitter. Now this front splitter comes with the Aero package, and it already has the little slits necessary for the dive planes. So you may be wondering, if this is the splitter we're gonna be manufacturing, then what are we gonna do about those holes that come with the splitter that's meant for dive planes? Well, us at Segala have also come out with dive planes to go with our Aero package that we will be selling as a kit for the new Z06 Corvette. In order to get these installed on the front bumper, we will be showing you a template necessary to make the cutouts in your bumper. So yes, some drilling and cutting will be necessary to install these new dive planes. Now, as you guys can see in my hands, yes, we have also come out with the OEM style rockers for the new Z06 in full carbon fiber front and back. Now that you guys saw what parts we have ready to be installed on the Z06, we're gonna go ahead, waste no time, and get started. So we're starting from front to back, so let's go ahead, get off the front bumper, because the drilling that we will need to be doing and cutting into the front bumper, we will need to have access to the back, and it won't be possible without getting the bumper completely removed. So let's go ahead, get the front bumper removed, and then we'll check in with you once we're ready to take the next few steps. All right guys, now that we were able to get the 4 million T15 bolts removed, now we believe it's ready to come off. So go ahead, pull it up and out. Okay, having technical difficulties. Think there may be more T15s that we need to remove, but we'll check in with you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so now we'll explain a little more what we had to remove. It was more than what we expected, but now the bumper should be ready to come off. There it is. So here is what the back of the bumper looks like. Now that we were able to get the front bumper removed, it is literally just a ton of T15 bolts along with a bunch of 7mm bolts. So you can see we had to remove all the pieces to the under tray, and that is because we needed access to 2 bolts that go right here that actually hold part of the bumper that we're going to show you right now, that actually connect to a brace that is attached to the front lip. So there you can see both holes on both sides where those 7mm bolts will be connected to the actual frame of the car. So along with removing all the T15s up above, there is one 7mm bolt right here on the end that holds the bumper to the fenders that need to be removed in order for these sides to be able to pop off. Now to get the original front lip removed, it is going to be a bunch of 7mm bolts along with a few push clips that you can see here. Basically just push the tab and then it should slide right through. Now that we were able to get all the bolts removed, so it's a total of 18 7mm bolts along with 6 of those push clips, And now that we have this bracket off the car, here you can see where the two holes are, where this brace actually mounts to the frame, which is why in the beginning we weren't able to remove it, and we had to remove all those splash guards underneath. So now we should be able to just pull off the front lip and get the new one installed. Now that we're ready to mock up the template, here you can see we put a few strips of blue tape just so once we actually tape up the template, you'll clearly be able to see the general area of where the cutouts will need to be made. Now that we went ahead, mocked up the template, here you can see where the blue tape shines through the little cutouts made in it. So let's go ahead, flatten it out, and then let's go ahead, just start marking it. And there's the final marking. Now that we're ready to start cutting, here's where you may need a second person just to make sure that you make these cuts as precise as possible. So here we have my brother holding up the bumper just so I can use the Dremel. You can use any cutting tool, but this is what we have found to work best for us. It's a small enough blade to be able to make those cutouts in your actual bumper. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. So now that all three cutouts are made, now we're gonna go in with a little file and just clean up around the edges. Now that we're ready to do the other side, we just want to mention that the template we will be shipping out with every kit will be universal to both sides. So one template can be used for the driver and passenger side as long as you flip it and use the same rules as far as making sure the template is aligned with the first body line and flat at the bottom. Okay, so here we have the carbon fiber dive plane, and the reason why you see we are going to be installing these before the actual front lip is because the front lip actually shares a bolt with the dive plane, and this is actually sandwiched in between the nut washer, the dive plane, and then the front lip. So this has to be installed first. So let's go ahead, slide it in. There we go. And then on the back, we will show you right now, it actually has 3 push clips that need to be installed on the dive plane itself that will be included with every set of these, and that is what will be holding it in place up here on the top portion of the bumper. Now that we have both dive planes installed on the front bumper, here in the back we're going to show you exactly what clips are going to be included with every set of dive planes shipped out. So here you can see they are the same ones that the front lip use, and here you can see it's going to be taking 1, 2, 3, and 4 push clips, and then the bolt that the dive plane shares with the front splitter. And it is going to be the same process for the other side.
The next day.
So guys, last night it did end up getting dark on us just because this was the first time taking off this bumper, so it did take a little longer than expected. But basically we were able to get the set of dive planes installed, clipped in. So we also went ahead and just slid on the front lip. It is literally just a bunch of little tabs that slide into place, so there's really not much to that. And then you guys will see on the actual lip, once we flip it around, it does have a little cutout of where the dive plane actually shares a little slot for a bolt to kind of sandwich the tab of the dive plane in the middle to hold it in place along with the 4 push clips. So right now what we're gonna do is let's go ahead, flip it around, show you how the front lip looks installed with the dive planes as a set, and then we'll go ahead and show you the process of kind of reinstalling all the different clips and bolts to hold the front lip along with getting that bracket reinstalled on the bumper. So here we have it with the cutouts that we made and the new front lip that we installed. Here is how the carbon fiber looks out in the sun and completely installed on the bumper. Now keep in mind, this is without any brackets or any bolts, so we still need to get all that done before actually being able to have it ready to be put back on the car. The front end will honestly look so much more aggressive now once it's actually installed on the car. Let us know what you think of this new front end. Oh man, I can't wait once we have everything installed, put on the car. We still need to install the rockers along with the new 2-post wing. So let's go ahead, waste no time, and get this front lip fully installed with all its bolts and back on the front end of the car. So here on the back side, we already went ahead and put a bolt where the dive plane actually shares a tab with the front lip, just so you guys can see exactly what it's supposed to look like. But there on the bottom, you can see we have the front lip, and then sandwiched in the middle, you will see the tab, the thin tab for the dive plane, and then on top we have the actual bumper with its little nut washer on top. Now in different areas of the front lip, you can see some tabs will take a bolt, and then some tabs will just need one of those push clips to kind of hold the whole front end in place. So you can see it kind of goes back and forth from the bolt, push clip, bolt, and then in the middle is where that bracket will go. And the bracket actually has the threads where the bolt will go through the front lip and then into that bracket. Okay, so here we have the bracket that came from OEM and was connected to the other front splitter. Now, to install this, here you can see where it has all the threads. So basically we're just gonna go ahead, place it in its little area where it goes. There you can see it's flush all the way around. And then when you are taking off the front splitter, you will see that it actually has two different sizes. So one shorter, there is two bolts that are short, the rest are long. So the two shorter ones are the ones that will be going directly in the middle. This is crucial to make sure you don't mistake, because you don't want these bolts to go through your front bumper. There we go, guys. So we were able to get the bracket reinstalled on the bumper. So there you can see, now we're ready to just go ahead, clip in the rest of the clips and put in the rest of the bolts that are from OEM. So you are using majority of the OEM hardware to get this lip reinstalled on your front bumper. Now, before we put on the front bumper, one thing that I did notice that is different from the regular C8 is it actually has a third radiator in the front, and the more you look at it, it almost looks like a, you know, when you get like new braces and you show like all the little braces in front, it almost looks like it has a little face when you have the bumper off like that. But it makes sense because in the front, unlike the regular C8, how it has this front grille area completely covered, here you can see all the cutouts of where the air will actually be going in. So that means this car has a total of 5 radiators around it. So it has 2 on the sides right there by the driver and passenger door, and then 3 up front. That's crazy, but for a car like this, you do need to keep it cool. So now let's go ahead, put the front bumper back on the car. Let's go ahead, slide it from the sides, make sure the sides go in. Okay, get the top to sit in its slot. And here we have it on the car. Let us know what you think of how this front end is starting to turn out. And now all that's left to do is just reinstall the scrape shield underneath and the top plastic pieces for the front trunk area. And then this car will officially be done for the front end. You know, seeing the front end a little more, I think, even though I said we are complete with the front end of the car, there's still one more thing missing. Now, what you may ask, you know, we got the front splitter, we got the dive planes. Here in a few seconds, you guys are gonna see that cherry on top that we're gonna do. This isn't something that will be included with the Aero kit, but it's something that we wanted to throw in a little extra just to enhance the way this car looks. So, are you guys ready? In 3, 2, 1. And here we have our C8 RR vented hood, and you guys can see it fits the Z06 just the same way as it fits the regular C8. So these will now also be available on our website, and it will now be available for the Z06. So if that's something you were interested, maybe to make sure it fit before ordering, or you weren't sure if it was gonna be the same body lines, here you guys can see it fits the exact same way. So honestly, now we can officially say that the front end of this car looks as it should. Aggressive, mean, and just overall very menacing. This is something that the car definitely needed. We needed to get rid of that flat hood. It just doesn't give those right body lines on the car, but here with this new addition, it's that extra little points for how the car looks. So once again, this will not be included with the Aero package, but it's just something that we thought we would throw in the video as a little extra for you guys watching. And well, now you can see it does fit the new Z06. Let's go ahead, move on to the rockers now and get those installed on the car. Now, without even moving the camera, just look at how much the carbon pops in the sun. There you guys can get a close-up of how the rockers look. Now, believe it or not, can you guys guess what is holding up these rockers on both sides? It is literally just 7 bolts and 2 push clips, and these rockers can literally just come right off. No double-sided tape is required, no nothing. Just 7mm bolts and 2 push clips is all you need. So let's go ahead, put one side on, and we will show you how it looks on the car. With more than one person, guys, that install literally took like 30 seconds. It was super quick, literally just 7 bolts, 2 push clips, and this rocker is on. Look how it looks on the car, and then combined it with the front lip, it just completely flows so well. But there's one more item that is gonna be installed on this car.
Meanwhile,
and now comes finally being able to work on the rear end. So for those of you that will have this low wing on your Z06, here you can see these little winglets on the side that are just held on by 4 T20 bolts and some double-sided tape. So let's get those removed, and we have some very, very special news to tell you guys about regarding these little winglets and the low wing. Here we have them, guys, the 2 little winglets that are on your low wing for your Z06. I mean, look how little tiny these things are. But basically, now these are soon gonna be able to be ordered from our website in carbon fiber, forged carbon. Maybe you want just the winglets paint match to your car. Now remember, guys, we are a paint shop as well, so anything you guys want to do, maybe you want to color match these, maybe you want to color match the wing, we will be able to offer it all. So even with the wing, if you want to get it in carbon fiber or forged carbon, all that will be available on our website. So make sure to have post notifications turned on so you never miss any updates that we come out for you guys. Another thing we are going to be offering as far as for the rear end of the Z06 is these center like mesh pieces are going to also be able to be done in carbon fiber, forged carbon, any finish you guys want. And with this outer ring around your center exhaust, we will also be able to offer it in carbon fiber, forged carbon, you name it. We are already working on that at the shop, so expect to see something coming out real soon. Literally, guys, we are your one-stop shop. Anything you guys want to do that is custom, we can do it. So let's say you want pinstripes, let's say you want certain parts color matched to your paint that may come in that carbon flash or even just black, we can offer it all for you guys. And here we have it, guys. Check this out, full carbon fiber and plates and all, and even the bottom post. This is exactly how the original looks like from GM, and well, we were finally able to start manufacturing it. Now, a question you guys may have is, if all new Z06 Corvettes are going to be coming with the low wing, how are we going to be able to get away with converting your Z06 to have a 2-post when the low wing takes 10 bolts to be mounted? Well, us at Segala, we have found a solution for that. And here we have it, guys. Here is the template that will also serve as a hole cover that will give you the guides on where the new holes will need to be drilled. Now, if you guys order the spoiler on its own, this will be an option that you will need to add to your cart if you want to take this route and simply just cover the holes. Another option for you would be to do it, I guess you can say, the correct way and take it to a body shop to actually get the holes filled in, which is the better option. But if you simply just want to cover the holes, this will be your best bet. Now, each template will be color matched to your car, so it's almost as if it won't even be there. Obviously, you'll see a little lip just because this is made of composite, so it will have a slightly raised edge. But if you don't want to go and take it to a shop to do the body work, this will be your best option to go with, and it will be so minimal, only if you really know it's there, you'll be able to notice it. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and start working on the rear bumper, get it taken off, and I know you guys are waiting to see what the rear bumper looks like from the back end. Now, so far from what we've seen working on the rear bumper for these past few minutes, a lot of it is similar from the C8. There's a few differences as far as the bottom is now 7mm bolts, unlike the C8 where it's T15s. For the sides right here where it's held on to the quarter panel, it's still the same 2 7s and the 1 10mm nut. And then that's basically it. For the little splash guard where the duct is, it's just 2 T15s, 1 7mm bolt on the bottom, and this pops off with 3 clips. So it's very similar, but now we are ready to finally be able to take off the rear bumper for the first time. Are you guys ready? Let's get to it. And here we have it, guys. As far as we see, it's still the same connectors, and well, here we have it off the car. Let us know what you guys think, but now let's get this bumper flipped around to show you guys exactly what it looks like. Here we have it in the sun. So now you can see all these mesh pieces along with the bracket that is actually kind of the exhaust tips as well for the center exhaust is all bolted in. And up here you can see it still looks similar from the regular C8. The only difference is now on the bottom of the wing, you can see it has all just nuts holding in that rear spoiler, along with, if it's similar, it will have double-sided tape on the wing. So let's go ahead, remove these bolts and try to get this wing removed, and we will check in with you guys in a bit. So here we have the stock low wing. Now we already went ahead and you guys saw we removed the winglets, so those are not on here, but on the bottom you can see it is literally just double-sided tape all around the edge of the wing, and then the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10mm bolts that are literally just with a nut, and that is how it's held on the wing. So now let's go ahead, bring over the template and get that installed to show you guys how it's put on. Here is how it looks like from the top with the 10 holes drilled. So here you can see where the template will really come in hand to cover all of them and then mark the center area of where the new posts will be. Now, when it comes to installing the rear template and the guide, on the back it will be completely filled with double-sided tape. So just for the purpose of this video and to show you guys the ease of install, here we have only 3 strips of double-sided tape just to be able to place it on and show you guys how it sits. Now, one thing that is crucial with this install is when you first place it on, you're going to want to make sure that it sits completely on the curve of the bumper, along with being aligned to the body line that the bumper has on both edges. Now, once you have it mocked up on the general area of where it will be, you're going to want to make sure that it is completely flush with the rear part of the bumper up top here. Now, once we have the corners in place, then what we're going to want to go ahead and do is actually press down on this one. We're just going to lift up one side. As you can see, it is very flexible. Go ahead, peel off the double-sided tape and just let it sit in its place where it wants to go. So there we go, just so we don't bend it out of shape. And then we're gonna do the same thing over here for this side. So once again, make sure it's completely flush with the back. We're gonna go ahead, put pressure down, be able to lift this side up, ensuring it doesn't shift on us. Going ahead, peeling off the double-sided tape, and then just placing it on. Now, for the middle, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing, lift up, peel off the tape, and then just let it sit right in the middle. Now, although this is going to be temporary, here you can see where it is completely flush along the edge of the bumper, along with being able to see where both guides will need to be drilled in order for the two-post wing to now sit over. And then over here on the side of the bumper, you will see where it will be sitting to be able to sit flush against the edge of the body line on both sides. Now for the mount where the wing will actually be mounted to, here you can see we have the OEM bracket. This will only be for the purpose of this video, just to show you guys kind of how it will be mounted. But when we ship out your wings, this bracket will look very similar, if not identical. So just for now, we will be lining it up. There is a little groove here on the actual frame part of the car where this bracket will need to slip into and kind of follow that edge. So we're gonna go ahead, mock it up, make sure it is tucked all the way in the corner. And for the main part of the bracket, you're just gonna wanna make sure that it's flush up against the car on this bottom area, and then just kind of look at it and make sure that it is even with the top part right here. So you're gonna wanna make sure this is all flat and even. So once it's lined up, then you're gonna wanna go ahead, make sure it's accurate. Then you're gonna wanna go ahead with your drill and just mark where the 3 holes will be for the bolts and hardware. Now that we were able to get both sides installed, here you can see the brackets on, and even this top piece that we will also be providing in the kits. Now they won't be the OEM ones, but we will have some very similar that will be compatible with this wing. Now, one more thing we almost forgot to mention to you guys is there is actually a second brace that holds this main bracket into place, and this is what it will look like. So remember, we are using the OEM pieces currently, but when we ship these out as a kit, we will have our own design to it. So let's go ahead, it will fit in this second bolt. And then when we push down, it will be sitting right underneath this, almost like a thread. It's threaded through the other side, but basically it will just be sitting flush and then flat up against this main frame part of the car. So let's go ahead, put this nut on, and then that will give us an accurate place of where we need to drill that hole right there on the bottom to hold this in place. Now that we were able to get the nut tight enough to where it still has room to sway only back and forth, you're going to want to go ahead, push it up against the frame of the car, and there is a module on the back side of this piece, so you're going to want to make sure to remove that just to ensure you don't drill through it. So let's go ahead, hold it in place, make sure it's flush, and then go ahead, just mark your hole right in the center with a 1/4 inch drill bit. And there we have it. All the hardware with this kit will be provided, and that will be the last step to getting this whole bracket installed. Now that we went ahead and put the nut on the left bracket, we're going to want to go ahead and tighten it just enough to where it will only want to sway back and forth, not left and right. So let's go ahead, tighten it a little more, and then push it up against the car, and that is where you will want to be making your hole. So let's go ahead and make it, put the bolt in, and both sides will be ready for this top mount. And one thing we want to mention that we make sure you guys don't forget is if this is something that you may not feel as confident doing, or let's say you don't have a shop near you to do the install for you that will accept your new Z06. We do offer installs and we travel all around the world. So just make sure to send us an email once you purchase your kit saying that you do want to get it installed by us, and we will schedule an appointment and fly us out there to do the install for you. And this goes for every product you see on our website, not just the wings, but we also offer vertical doors. We also offer installs for the side skirts, front lip, for the regular C8, for the 2-post wing. We offer installs for everything on our website. Now for this install from start to finish, we want to give a rough estimate of about 4 to 6 hours. And that is the estimate on what we think it would take us to install it professionally. So for you, if you want to do this on your own, the time may differ. Now that we're ready to go ahead and bring over the wing, this will be the final step to tie everything in together. So we're gonna have the wing, we're gonna have the rockers, we're gonna have the front lip, we're gonna have the dive planes, and even on our hood, we have the matching carbon fiber vents. So honestly, this will honestly make the car flow so well together with all the carbon fiber, and I can only imagine the way it will look like in the sun. Now here behind me, you can see what the finished product looks like for these bottom brackets. So now all that's left to do is just to show you the hardware that is necessary for this top block. And remember, this top block will need to be put on before actually getting your bumper on, because that almost like flat lip around that block is getting tucked under the bumper, so that block needs to actually be put on first before your rear bumper. So let's show you what hardware is necessary, and then let's keep moving forward. And here on the bumper, you can see where the cutouts are. So basically, when you're doing these cutouts, you just want to get a Dremel and kind of clean around the edges and make sure to get those 2 holes on the side. So those are the holes that will be mounting to some bolts that go on the side right here. Now, once again, all hardware will be provided with this kit, but here you can see we have a long bolt that will be going through the bottom base and screwing into the bracket, and that goes for both. And here you can see the hole is just big enough to where the bolt stops before. So once it's tying down, all that's left to do is just screw it all the way in. Same with the back, and then this bracket will now be ready to be installed. So now we have this one installed, so now it's just repeating the same steps on the left side. Now that we have both blocks installed, let's go ahead and get the rear bumper put on the car. And here we have it, guys. So once the bumper was able to be put on the car, now all that was left to do was simply just put the 2 bolts on the side inner posts, and then the wing is basically ready to be mounted. So to remove this wing, it is honestly very, very simple. It's just removing those 4 bolts on the inner post, and then the wing can literally slide off. But here we have it, guys. Our Sigala Z06 Z07 Aero package in carbon fiber. Let us know what you guys think. We'd love to hear your feedback. But now let's go ahead and get you some shots of how this package looks. Now, a little extra for you guys. I literally just received this right now from my boss, but basically here we have a split window molding that literally goes on the back hatch, and let us know what you guys think. Like, would this be something that you guys would want to see? So it literally just slides over top, and you guys can see here it literally falls inside this groove, and then kind of makes it, yeah, like a split window. It almost resembles like the 1963 Corvettes, where it has that kind of center divider on the rear glass, but all that would really be holding it would just be double-sided tape on the back, and then it would go right there in the center of your rear hatch window. So let us know what you guys think, and we'd love to hear feedback. Is this something you guys would want to see us produce in carbon fiber or any other finish? And this is gonna be officially concluding the end of the video, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed seeing a step-by-step process of how to install this new Aero package, along with learning with us along the way. This was the first time ever working on a new Z06. We aren't afraid to mention it to you guys, but we hope you guys enjoy. Once again, we will have the link in the description that'll direct you straight to our website. to purchase this kit, along with being able to view other parts we will have available, not only for the new Z06, but for your C8 as well. We thank you guys so much for your constant support. I know a ton of you were waiting for this video to drop, but as always guys, it's Alex with Segala Designs. If you aren't already, go down, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.